technology is awesome.
You have to go over there. It's awful. Put it on top.
That's bad.
That's something that
How is she back up
I
three
agree
one
with
one
you.
time?
But they were out today. My partner's
Oh, really?
right at 5.
No.
At this point, everything else is ready. I'm sure someone tried to
Okay. Let's push it above. Yeah, because it doesn't make sense. Yeah, so let's push Gotta stand up to it. That's what I have to do. I stand up to it. And I feel they
That's what I come and do. Until you get a certain age and you're in your readers.
October 15th, noon. Call this meeting to order. Commissioner Holbrook, please open us with prayer.
Yes, sir.
Dear Heavenly Father, God, we gather this season of harvest and change. We give you thanks for the blessings that you provided for our county. We thank you for the beauty of autumn around us and for the people who work daily to make our community strong. We ask for your wisdom as we meet today, so guide our thoughts, our words, and our decisions so that everything we do can benefit your kingdom in this community and the families of those we serve. Help us approach each issue with open minds and kind hearts and the spirit of cooperation. Bless this meeting, our leaders, and every household in this county. In Jesus' name, amen.
Let's stand and salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, let there be light. Holy tomato. Guy, you're uglier in the light than you are regular, Davy Day.
Now that wasn't very nice, was it?
I said, when that light came on, I got to see how ugly Davy Day really was. Yeah, I love you, honey.
He's joking. He can't see that far.
Exactly.
Well, this has already spiraled out of control completely. Clerk, will you please call roll?
Judge Cheney,
Here.
Commissioner Salisbury,
Here.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Here.
Commissioner Stapleton.
Here.
All right, can I get an approval of minutes for September meeting? Motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next, we'll move to the finance section, approval of submitted bills and transfers. Can I get a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next on the agenda is budget amendment. Missy, would you care to talk about this?
This is just a second reading of last month's budget amendment, and it was the prior year carryovers. So we're just asking your approval on that today.
That amount is,
$1,920,928.72.
all right, get a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury.
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next, we'll move to the general section. We have a proclamation for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Commissioner Holbrook?
So whereas domestic violence is a serious crime that affects people of all races, ages, gender, and income levels, and whereas domestic violence is widespread and affects over 4 million Americans each year, with 1 in 3 Americans having witnessed an incident of domestic violence, and whereas children that grow up in violent homes are believed to be abused.
Sorry. Gotcha.
Up is down.
Yeah, I know I pushed the wrong button.
Whereas children that grow up in violent homes are believed to be abused and neglected at a higher rate than the national average. And whereas domestic violence costs the nation billions of dollars annually in medical expenses, police and court costs, shelters, foster care, sick leave, absenteeism, and non-productivity. And whereas only a coordinated community effort will put a stop to this crime. Whereas Domestic Violence Awareness Month provides an excellent opportunity for citizens to learn more about prevention of domestic violence and to show support for the numerous organizations and individuals who provide the critical advocacy services and assistance to victims. Therefore, Judge Eric Cheney from Boyd County hereby proclaims October 2025 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And representing our community is going to be Miss Linda Day from Safe Harbor, one of the leaders in our community against domestic violence.
I'd like to get a picture with you if I could, and I'd like to say a couple words.
Absolutely.
Thank you all for your support. It's become an epidemic, basically, and I'm proud to work at Safe Harbor. I work in the background, but I do help in my own way, so I appreciate your support. We appreciate the community's support. We live in a wonderful community that we are very blessed that people want to give back, and I appreciate that. So Safe Harbor appreciates that. Thank you all.
Well, thank you very much for all you do.
You gonna go around or what do you want to do? Let's go around. Okay. We can go down.
Next on the agenda is reappoint Mark Meenick to Canonsburg Fire Protection Board. I get a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes. Next on the agenda is Boyd County Extension Council appointments. We're going to push this till November 15th meeting. This has to be done before December 1st, so we'll just push that. Next is statewide mutual aid agreement.
So I brought Jason York from KYM here today. So the agreement we submitted is a new agreement that's been out of place for many years. They've been working on this to get this back in place. And so what this does is alleviate us from having individual mutual aid agreements with all these counties that we may go to for mutual aid or may request mutual aid from. Similar to what we've done in the past with the counties out west when we deployed, when we went to Knott County and all those. This will be a cover all 120 counties of the Commonwealth and any entities within those jurisdictions that want to do it. So the cities are able to do this. The fire departments that aren't under the direct control or authority of the court or the cities also will have the ability to be able to sign this agreement. This is just the first step for us to do the county, and then I want to present it with the two cities and then the fire departments and the EMS as well as we go through this process. But Jason's here if you have any questions or if you want to touch on this any at all.
It also streamlines reimbursement. I know sometimes we have to reverse engineer some of these agreements. You guys are wonderful neighbors. You will go and help anywhere and everywhere in this Commonwealth. And this will reward that good faith with a more expedited reimbursement process. And it used to be common, like he said, it used to be common. We had a director that kind of leaned away from it, but now we saw the need to come back to it.
The reimbursement aspect to us, especially when we went to other counties in the state, that's really the last thing that we think about when we go. It always comes up in discussion later, but when it's time to go, we've always just went and just made it happen. So if this will streamline the front end, as far as mutual aid goes, if it'll streamline us getting there to wherever the disaster may be, I'm definitely all for it. And if on the back end, months later, when we're trying to figure out and kind of weave our way through the reimbursement process, if this will help that, then I mean this is definitely a great thing.
Absolutely does.
And it's public works, so it's not just for emergency services. So our road department, our public works from the cities that go, because we've all, in Canonsburg Water, all those different districts went and helped on water, on utility repair. So, I mean, it's not just for our public safety folks. This is for any resource that's requested and is deployed.
Well, this is an absolute no-brainer.
Yep.
Get a motion and a second to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes.
And he had one more item he wanted to bring up.
The role of emergency management's evolved a lot over the last couple of decades, right? It's become more and more critical for communities to have someone who can navigate those waters, who can help you get back whole, to recover from that which is, very harsh to deal with. The Kentucky Emergency Management Association developed a program called the Certified Kentucky Emergency Management Degree. You may remember a couple years ago, Greg was the first one in our region to actually receive this honor. Although I will say that Tim's been eligible probably for this for a while. I was very pleased to be able to finally kind of talk him into going through the paperwork process of this for this designation. So this isn't just an award for Tim. It's also for your community. It's for the faith that you guys have given him and the support that you have given his program to allow him to do the program the way that he sees what is best for your community. And speaking for the Commonwealth of Kentucky, I thank you for that because you guys are an amazing partner. He's an amazing leader for our region and the state. And I thank you for that. The plaque reads as follows: Kentucky Emergency Management Association, let it be known to all that members of the association have bestowed our credential of professionalism upon Timothy W. England with the designation of Certified Kentucky Emergency Manager for meeting the requirements and the standards of the program in the areas of experience, dedication to integrity, and training, as well as contributions to the profession and field of emergency management in Kentucky on this 4th day of September 2025. We always give this out at our conference, so that's why it's got that date on there. There are only 37 of these in the state now, so this is a real honor, and I want to. If you guys don't care for another photograph, that would be. Yeah, if you. However you like that.
Whatever you want to do.
That'd be perfect.
Everybody doesn't have to know this up you all.
I'm taller than you.
Great. You got it. We'll get my staff up here real quick. Because it's a team effort.
Congratulations, brother. Thank you. Great job. Thank you so much.
Good people up in here.
That's awesome. Tim, it's much, I've told you this before, it's much deserved. It truly is, man. We talk about all the time having the best team in the state of Kentucky, and you and your department's just another example of that. From when I was elected in 2018, took office in 19, we started conversations early, and I think I think we've got a relationship that's full of mutual respect. I've got your back. I know you've got mine. And not only that, it's not just the people of this county that you support and you protect, and they know you're going to be there. It's all across the state of Kentucky now. When that call takes place, I know you're going to be there, and I know we're going to be there right behind you. So this is much deserved. We got a lot of respect for you and all that you do, and I appreciate you and your team very much.
Thank you all.
Yep.
All right.
Next on the agenda is, the title says Fay Lane into County Road System. We're not going to be accepting the road today. We'll need to do a resolution. We'll do that in November. Road foreman, Davey, we're going to take a look at this road, and he'll report back in November. So really no action needs to be taken on that today. We'll just, do we need to issue two? We still need to issue two people, or have we already done that with this road?
I've looked at it, but I mean, I can take somebody else. Yeah.
Okay.
Is there a deed to this road? I've got a recollection of that from a while back, but I can't remember. I think we tried to have it surveyed, and I think the survey went right up to the guy across the street from Wilbur's front porch. And then, of course, on the other side, it went in up to Wilbur's front porch. I know Wilbur Hackworth real well, and when I read that letter, I was like, it seemed familiar to me. I don't even, how to get blacktopped?
They said the county did it years ago.
Really?
Define years ago, like,
Well,
thank you very much. Pre-2019, that's exactly
But
what I
after
wanted to hear.
13, right? After 13. Okay, make sure we got to get that in there.
This road used to be called Arrowhead West.
Yep.
It may have got lost in the transfer there somewhere. I don't know. I've got letter here from
Where
several
I'm headed, right? Yeah.
people up there
Take a
that
look
live
at
up
that.
there, and they've called me several times, and they got some potholes they won't fix. Is all they got.
Well, I mean, let's take a look at it. It's,
We've been salting it and scraping it for 20, 30 years, I guess, haven't we, Dave?
Yes, that I didn't know that he was doing it.
Right.
I mean, it's been done for the last couple of years. I don't know about the last 20 years.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
here's the deal. I mean, honestly, looking at this, just 100,000 foot view, it's fine. I mean, it is what it is, right? So let's pull the deeds on it. Let's see where it's at, and then let's come back in November, and it's already blacktop, so probably gonna vote to take it.
Yeah.
Sounds like we already pretty much have. So let's just, this is no big deal. This is something that can be handled relatively easy and quick. So we'll take care of it in November's meeting. And I definitely want to pull the deeds and just kind of get an idea of where we're at on it. And then we'll take care of it in November. No issue. So no action to be taken on that right now.
Okay.
Next on the agenda is Windstream resolution. This is a resolution acknowledging the presence of telecommunications facilities in the county's right-of-way.
This one here, Unity Group acquired Windstream Kinetic, and they're rebranding as Kinetic, and they have facilities on the county's rights-of-way. And since they've acquired this, they're asking us, just for the resolution, that they would continue to have access to maintain their facilities. That's all this resolution goes to.
Okay.
Okay.
Get a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook?
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury?
Yes.
Judge Cheney?
Yes. Okay, next on the agenda is approval to purchase Intergreen Aspen mowers. Definitely want to have a discussion on this. The company does have state contract. These mowers, they're pretty neat. I mean, there really ain't no way around that. The problem with municipalities, and especially rural roads like we have, is buying a normal tractor, mounting a sidearm on it and rolling down through there is great, but that's not what tractors are made to do. Finding a unique piece of equipment that specializes in exactly what we're looking for, which is make it a whole lot more efficient and can be used for multitudes of different things, from storm debris cleanup to something that we need to definitely start doing. These mowers would allow us, and that's cutting back trees. They've kind of grown over the roadway, and people are dragging campers on, stuff like that. This piece of equipment is specifically designed for that. The quote that we have here is $585,000 for two of these pieces of pieces of equipment. The question that we got to kind of talk about today is if we want to move forward with one, we move forward with two, if we want to stagger the purchase, or if we want to allow me to negotiate and kind of facilitate that, working with Davey at the road department. And the reason that's even being brought up is there's been some things I say things, but they've come to us over the past week and a half. The state is implementing a 18% increase on the county portion of health insurance. And it will not affect the employees. It's just for the employer. I'll pull those numbers up real quick just to give you all a general idea. Oh, thank you. You knew I wouldn't print it out, all right?
Am I supposed to give him originals?
Yes, not allowed to do that. Okay, so health insurance for us, and these are all our portion, right? Per year is $2.1 million a year for the county portion, not what the employee pays, but what the county portion is. An 18% increase is an additional $385,000. So that's drastic, right? Something that we weren't expecting, nor were we looking to budget for that, so we need to go back and find that. But alongside of that, all lines of insurance have went up. Our property insurance for everything that we have from vehicles to buildings is taking a 10.2% increase, additional $80,000. and our workers' comp is increasing $38,000. So a grand total of $504,000 that was not expected, not planned for, not necessarily budgeted for, that we have to find a way to incorporate into our budget and make work, right? Because that's what we have to do. So I wish there was more of a heads up on this, really. I do. And I'll go ahead and say that I need to be careful in the way I say this, because I need all the employees, all the county employees to understand that if the county decides to move forward with putting insurance, health insurance, out to bid, your coverage will not drop. It will not you're not going to go from a good plan to a decent plan just because that's what the county wants to do to save money, okay? I need to make sure that you all know that, and every county employee that works for Boyd County government understands that I'm saying that. But I also think it's our duty to make sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck. But I need everybody to understand that we're not looking to jump from an 85-15 program to a 70-30 program. We're looking to keep what we have, and quite possibly put that out to bid to see where we land. And that really would go the same for property insurance as well. So a $504,000 surprise towards the end of the year, halfway through your budget, is something nobody wants to deal with, but that's why we're here, and we'll solve it. We've been in worse situations, so we can handle it. Now, how that ties into the mowers is that's $585,000 purchase, we were going to finance. So I think what we need to do, as long as you all are okay with it, say allow me to negotiate this to see if we can either stagger the purchase for this price over, maybe purchase one now and another one in 4 months, or to go ahead and purchase both of them. I can work that deal. I think we just need to figure out the best path forward. I would definitely say we need to go ahead and move forward with one, but I am also worried that that was a big one. But this quote is going to go up, just like everything else. So I'll handle this however y'all want me to. Essentially, if you want me to negotiate, move forward, work with the bank on financing, see what we can do there, we can do that.
I'll make that motion.
I'll
Go
say-
ahead and work on it.
I'll say this, Davey, from my recollection of the conversation that we had when that gentleman was out there talking to us about the mowers, he only had one machine that was available, and the other machine was going to have to be. It was going to take us a while to get it, anyway.
The last conversation I had, he could probably have them here by November, by Thanksgiving, I'm sorry.
Both of them?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, and just so we're clear on this too, so that people know why we're even having this discussion, because we've had mowers in the past. The last mowers we had were on a lease agreement. There's 4 of them, I believe, was on a lease with John Deere, and they sent back now. So essentially what we'll be doing here is, the plan was when we sold the paver was to take that $100,000, put a down payment on this, lowering it to $485, finance this on, I believe it was 60 months, and you come a lot closer to what the monthly lease payment was on the tractors that we were already paying for. Okay, so it wasn't like we're looking to spend $585,000 and we weren't already spending X amount of portion of that in a monthly payment anyway.
And that would be an annual payment too.
Yes. How was that structured at the bank? Do you know when that annual payment was due?
I think February
Payment
for the tractor with the financing on it.
What was that, 120,
paid
104?
those monthly, didn't we?
No, we paid the lease tractors monthly, but the annual, was this the new loan, was it going to be an annual payment?
We hadn't gotten that far with it. I don't know.
I wonder if we could structure it, maybe you all could let me negotiate that, because if we could structure an annual payment to be, say we put the down payment on it of 100, right, and then say we're able to push the annual payment out to a year from now.
I think that's how they were going to do it, but we'll confirm. So since we put the down payment.
Okay.
It would push it to the next budget.
I made that motion, let you negotiate.
All right, let's do that.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Any further discussion? Clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury,
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next on the agenda is approval to upgrade camera system for the detention center. Jailer Hensley is out of jail. He's in jail this week. He's out on bond. He's out of town at a conference. We did put this out for an RFP, and we recommend Trace 3. They were the most qualified and overall lowest bidder. So I'd make a motion and a second. Can't make a motion and a second.
What?
I'd like to get a motion and a second to move forward with this. Price, upfront cost, it looks like it's $422,000. And this will be paid for, the jail will make this payment, correct? Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to get financing on it, but the jail will be able to cover that.
Okay.
Okay.
And it's a 10-year contract, and everything's all inclusive. I believe we have somebody here today if you want to come
Oh,
up and
absolutely.
speak.
Come on up, that'd be great.
Use the expert term as me very loosely. So, if you have any questions, I am the representative for Trace 3. I oversee the county for Trace 3. So, we're excited to get this rolling. And if you have any questions, let me know. It is over a 10-year turnkey solution. No other nickel and dime in you. That's what we're trying to avoid.
Yes.
And we will avoid no more. It's one and done.
Awesome.
For 10 years.
All right. Go ahead and do a motion in a second.
No.
Get a motion and a second to approve.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, please call roll.
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury,
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next on the agenda is approval of the 4860 FEMA project bridges. Mr. Queen, you like to talk about this for a minute?
We need to approve number 3 and 4. Do you all have the list of the 4 bids?
They were here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to try to get approval for 3 and 4 and hold off on 1 and 2 because we're still working on some other issues there.
Okay, so project 3 is,
Golden Gate Site 3 and 4 is Scrape Creek.
okay.
3 and 4. You got one that I didn't get. And that's the bids from each company.
Okay, so if I'm looking at this right, for 3 would be Premier Steel Services,
That's correct.
and for 4 on Straight Creek would be Contact?
That's correct.
Okay. So first one on Golden Gate, Site 3, Premier Steel Services, $153,355. And on Straight Creek for Project 4, Site 4 is $153,355. So get a motion in a second.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, that's FEMA money, correct?
Yeah.
And that comes off our line of credit that we have set aside for FEMA, and then we get reimbursed from that, and then we have our in-kind.
Correct.
Yeah.
Any discussion?
That was it.
Clerk, you please call roll.
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury,
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next on the agenda is accept bid from Morton Salt. This is Boyd County Fiscal Court accepted the bid of 1,200 tons of road salt from Morton Salt, Inc. at $139.50, which absolutely blows my mind because I think last year was 93, 92.
$40 a ton.
And this is something we ran into with the salt program, even through CAECO. The bids were up 20, 25, 30%. So, knock on wood, it won't snow. Shouldn't have said that, but this is to accept that bid at $139.50. Can I get a motion in a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Clerk, will you please call roll?
Commissioner Stapleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Holbrook,
Yes.
Commissioner Salisbury,
Yes.
Judge Cheney.
Yes. Next on the agenda, under general, is Suzanne Griffith.
Thank you for allowing me to be here today. The topic I'm going to talk about is Kentucky Power. I'll go by my notes as much as I can, but if I get off a little bit, just hang in there with me. I'm here to express my deep concern about Kentucky Power's proposed 14.9% residential rate hike, its 13% commercial rate hike, and its 15% industrial rate hike, and how those can impact our area. Kentucky Power states they need another $96 million a year, bringing its annual revenue up to $749 million. Two things before I begin. On September the 15th, I had a meeting per her request with Cynthia Wiseman, COO of Kentucky Power. And although we view this issue very differently, we both agree that economic development is needed to help better address the cost of energy in our region. And that's where you guys come in a little bit. And this has nothing to do with the Kentucky Power linemen or other workers that I have great respect for. As a retired teacher of 38 years, I understand the importance of economic security in the home. It matters, and it matters a lot. In addition, I've spoken with many across our community already have issues with paying their electric bill, including folks on a fixed income, retirees, folks on limited or low income, families with multiple children, and small business owners. So I'm going to go over some facts with you all. And let's start at 2010, because prior to 2010, we had great rates, and I'm going to show you all that here in a little bit. So our bill there was a settlement, and that caused our bill to go up about 16.84% in 2015. Kentucky Power said that they needed another $45 million. Well, actually, it was more, but they settled on $45 million a year, and that raised our bill $11 in 2021. There was a 15.46% increase on average bills in 2024. It went up 5.66%. Now, on that year, they asked for 18.3% was requested, but community comments helped make a difference on that, and there was an outcry from across eastern Kentucky about what this would do, and it really made a difference. And actually, the PSC called their request excessive and disturbing. So here we are in 2025. We have a 6.37 securitization surcharge, and now they want another 14.9%. So in addition to all that, customers have other charges on their bill, including fuel adjustment, DSM adjustment, residential energy assistance, which I'm not complaining one bit about that one, purchase power adjustment, environmental adjustment. And I want to say something about the environmental adjustment. That can go up and down. I think my last bill was 3.9, but I read an article that could be going even all the way up to 8 here pretty soon, so I'm going to have to investigate that further. But anyway, these extra charges can add an extra 20 to 40% on our bill. It's usually not 40%. That was more with in 2022 with the fuel adjustment. But right now, we're going to take a minute and we're going to look at some facts.
I'm sorry.
I liked it.
I like it.
Okay.
I'm glad.
Now, this is our yellow sheet right here, and this is from the Commonwealth of Kentucky Public Service Commission annual report statistics. And I think it is so interesting to go on big investigative researches on the PSC Commission. But anyway, in 2010, if you look under residential, we had 142, or Kentucky Power had 142 residential customers. If you come down and look at 2024, that's 130,000. Now, they say that one of the reasons they need to raise our rates is because they have lost residential customers, and I'm not debating that at all, except they have used that same excuse over and over and over again. It seems like by now they would have figured it out. If you go all the way down, you can see that this is the part that I had to write. Our cost per kilowatt hour has gone up 74%. If we add another 14%, that'll be 100% from 2010 to 2026. And meanwhile, the normal cost of living is up about 50%. So we're really stretching people's revenue that they have in their home. There's a lot more I can say about that, but I'm going to go on over to the industrial. The industrial is what I'm super, super concerned about. Kentucky Power has lost 32.82% of their industrial customers since 2010. They went from 1,426 to 957, and their revenues for industrial are down 38%. Let's go to the total, because I think it's pretty shocking. For their revenues, they're down 4%, which is pretty amazing because they have lost 48% of their kilowatts that they sell a year. So they might be in a fix, but we are too. Okay, and they've been raising their rates all along to make up for their lost sales. Let's go ahead and look at the next one. And all of this other information comes from the annual report statistics. The next one is the residential rates. We are number, this is just for the 24 because the PSC has not fully updated all of their records, although I have asked them to. So anyway, Kentucky Power, from what's reported for 24, we were number 2. It looks like we would be about number 3 altogether, but number 2 on this list. But if you add the 14.9%, our new rate would be 0.1732, which would be the highest in the state. And on top of that, Kentucky Power has a 6.37 securitized charge added to customers' bill, which began in July of 2025. So we actually pay the most. Okay, let's go over. Look at commercial rates. We're right up there again. I think this is very, very concerning when it comes to our small businesses. I've had several small business owners reach out to me and just wanting to know what to do, and I just refer them to contact the PSC, but they want a 13% rate hike on this. This would make it 0.150064 in addition to the 6.37, which would make our bills about highest in the state on that when you add the securitization charge right up there. On the industrial rate, now Duke Energy, they just raised theirs, so I'm not for sure what that is yet, and they're number 1. But on the Kentucky Power, it's 0.832. But in July, like I said, we added the 6.37. The new rate would be 0.09591, and that's too high. I don't even know what else to say. If you're trying to attract industry to your area, having those low rates is vital, especially us right here in Eastern Kentucky. Now, we're going to take a walk back through time right now. Go ahead and go this one right here. And this is from the Kentucky Energy Profile 2010, but it's actually our 2009 rates. We were a lot closer to the bottom then. We had really cheap rates in 2009. Really cheap rates. We were, I think, number 12 out of 58. Yeah, things were going good. So when people say, oh, my bill has gone up so much, they're right. It has. And the same thing is true with, let's see, our commercial rates were really low in 2009, and so were our industrial rates. In fact, our industrial rates were some of the lowest in the state. Now, we had AK going in, we had the Coke plant going in, Bellefonte Hospital was up, and I get it. But you know what else was going in? Our Eastern Kentucky coal mines. They were really up because they were the supplier from Kentucky Power. Now, another reason that Kentucky Power says that our rates are so high is the housing stock. I have no argument here. We do have an old housing stock. And we have a ton of mobile homes, much more than the rest of the state. The rest of the state, they're 10 to 14% mobile homes. Here in eastern Kentucky, it's 25 to 40%, depends on what you're looking at here. Now, here in Boyd County, it's not so bad. We have 11%, but I'm going to name some of the other counties because I want people to know. Carter County, 31%. Elliott County, 39%. Lawrence County, 32%. McGoffin County, 38%. Leslie County, 44%. Martin County, 39%. And Pike, 34%. And we use just slightly above the state average on residential bills. And I'm going to tell you what that tells me because people have told me what all they're doing to stay warm. I talked to a granny that's sleeping in her house coat. I've talked to parents that are putting their kids in coats before they go to bed. I've talked to people about they're putting up quilts to block off the rooms. I've talked to people that are putting more solar panels on. That's expensive. I get it. But they're doing that. I've talked to people who are putting more wood-burning stoves in and other heating things, some of which are not safe. So that's kind of the facts on that. I'm going to go to this page right now where it says, why does Kentucky Power say they need a rate hike? According to their website, they mention upgrades, vegetation management, and storm severity. I want to say something about vegetation management because it has been a part of so many other rate cases. This needs to be dropped from this. We've already been paying on this since 2010, and we've been paying a lot. If they need to do it better, then they need to figure out a way to do it better. They also mention in-state generation, which I don't know what that would be because they are not following their 2002 IRP. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. I thought they had a really good plan here, but I don't know what they're doing now. Costs related to the coal-burning Mitchell plant in West Virginia were mentioned in the case filing printed in the Ashland Daily Independent. In addition, they want to raise the return for investors. Keep in mind, a person or entity cannot directly invest in Kentucky Power. They can only invest in their parent company, AEP. And AEP has recently reported record profits. So another thing they talk about is fixed cost. But let's remember, families, industries, and small businesses have fixed cost as well. They also mention the loss of population and industry here has created real challenges, pushing cost even higher. And we've definitely felt the gut punch and reality of that when AK and the Coke plant closed. Of course, Kentucky Power pulled out of Louisa and moved their coal-burning operation to the Mitchell plant in West Virginia. That made the situation worse. Local jobs were lost, and let's remember, coal mines that supplied Kentucky Power for years used a lot of electricity that was no longer needed because the Mitchell plant burns West Virginia coal. I also want to add Boyd County Industries are interveners in this case. Marathon Refinery, who purchases about 15% of all energy sold, is represented by Kentucky industrial customers, and SWVA, which we all probably know as the old Kentucky Electric. And both sides, they are using large amounts of electricity. And those are two big businesses that we depend on here in this county. And I think you all really need to take that into consideration. I don't even know where we would be if we lost Ashland Oil. And that's been on Marathon, I'm sorry. That's been on my mind a lot. And we have got to support them. I know I do, and I know that I'm going to support SWVA as well. But let's talk about the Mitchell plant for a minute. The Mitchell plant provides no economic boost to the service area, and that's a 20-county eastern Kentucky service area, burns West Virginia coal, pays no local or state taxes to Kentucky, provides no jobs for Kentucky citizens, and the average job there is $144,000. And all of that I got from this right here, and this was Daniel Cameron, who, by the way, I agree with on very little, but let me tell you on this, He was on the money. I'm just telling you. This was from case number 2021-0004. And in this, he felt like we needed to get out of the Mitchell plant. And you think he was right then? You're going to find out even more in a minute why he was right. I'm going to go to the last page and read what was written. Ultimately, regardless of whether Kentucky Power is owned by AEP or another entity, retiring the Mitchell plant in 2028 provides the company and commission an opportunity to assess the economics of new owned or purchased natural gas generation or other resources located in Kentucky. So anyway, in this manner, Kentucky and its communities could be beneficiaries of an expanded state and local tax base, just as West Virginia and its communities have been beneficiaries of the Mitchell plant. Now, when Russell Coleman came in, they decided that they weren't going to go this direction, but I think this is worth looking at again, and that's why I made you a copy of it. In addition to providing no directs or ancillary jobs, tax revenue, coal sales, or economic boost to the Kentucky Power Service region, now this one's going to hurt. And when I had a meeting with Cynthia Wiseman, yeah, I was mad about this. I was mad about this next part. And she looked at me and said, "You're not listening." And you know what? She was right. Because a minute I wasn't listening. I was mad. And here's what it says. Kentucky Power customers could be on the hook for the partial decommissioning cost of the Mitchell plant in West Virginia, which is scheduled for decommission in 2040 according to AEP records. This spells further financial hardships for Kentucky Power customers whom already paid the highest average bill in the state. So you got it right. We already paid to decommission one down here in Louisa, and now they want us to pay half to decommission another one that we got no job off of, we got no tax revenue off of, they don't burn our coal, and we have the highest bills around. Yeah, I wasn't too happy, but I'm going to turn my anger into advocacy over that. I was just mad for maybe 30 seconds, kind of collected myself, but yeah, anyway. In addition to decommissioning yet another coal-fired plant, the Kentucky Power ratepayers could still be responsible for the cost of new generation, and we are going to be responsible for the cost of new generation. You think our rates are bad now? You better be looking to the future because they're about to go up a whole bunch. Okay, so let me say that. Now, I want to do just a little review right now before I go back. And this is what Rocky Atkins, who I think is one of the biggest friends to Eastern Kentucky I've ever met. I even love him more after I read this. But this is what he wrote to the Public Service Commission, case number 2012000578, and this was in May of 2013. And Rocky really fought. I want to say he fought like crazy to have that Louisa plant and Big Sandy 2 stay open. People, they just weren't going to listen to him. But he fought hard, and he was right, just like he usually is. I'm going to read some of what he wrote. Abandoning the Big Sandy 2 will mean the loss of more than 150 full-time jobs at the plant. In 2012, Big Sandy received over 100,000 tons of coal at $70 a ton, creating coal sales of $115 million that will be lost, along with severance taxes from the coal paid to the state and local governments. Let me tell you, Lawrence County took a big hit then. One judge executive has said the Big Sandy plant is directly responsible for 500 coal jobs and thousands of other jobs indirectly. Lawrence County, where the Big Sandy power plant is located, stands to lose $900,000 in taxes, $500,000 a year for county schools, and $60,000 a year for the public library. When stockpiling coal, 200 trucks a day unload in the Big Sandy plant. 200, guys. I know you all were on that road during that time. I mean, I was a lot. And yeah, they were up and down that road all day. Those jobs will be eliminated. Vendor sales for plant maintenance and fuel cells used to restart the units will be eliminated. And let's remember, even the bank went out of business in Lawrence County during that time. I'm going to go over and there's some more information on page 6 that I want to read because I think it's really important. Recent press releases by some of the environmental groups were parties to the recent modification to the 2007 consent decree indicate that AEP has said it will shut down Big Sandy 2. That was in 2007. Remember all this? So they kind of already made up their mind prior to 2013. Maybe that's a decision that AEP had shared with them, but not Kentucky's ratepayers. The recent written modifications to the consent decree do not appear to reflect any such agreement. 12 states were parties to the original 2000 consent decree. Kentucky was not. And that's what I'm saying. We are stakeholders in all of this. We have got to be involved. We have to be. Because I look and see what happened to us here. It's awful. And he went on to say, because Kentucky was not a party, I believe our obligation should be to Kentucky and the ratepayers, but Kentucky Power saw that differently. I think that's all I had in this. I would encourage you to read both what Daniel Cameron had to write and Rocky Atkins, and if you have Daniel Cameron and Rocky Atkins looking at a subject the same, I think you all need to look at it really good too. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But wait, it gets worse. I just received this yesterday. People send me stuff all the time. This is from published October the 4th, 2025, and this is from West Virginia Public Broadcasting. Kentucky Power coal plant needs a big repair. Could the feds help? Well, I thought that was really interesting. And guess what the big repair is? One of Mitchell's 2 concrete cooling towers is failing structurally and needs to be reinforced or replaced. I don't know how much that is, but I can tell you it's going to be a whole lot. Now, they said they were going to kind of try to get some federal money for this. Trump has put back $625 million for coal plants. There's over 200 coal plants, and that money's not going to go very far. Because the coal plants, most of them are 50 plus years old. So all of a sudden, Daniel Cameron, what he said made more sense than what Rocky said. But anyway, I'm going to go on to the next page. Thank you all for entertaining me and listening, such good listeners. First, when it comes to residential rates, we already paid the highest average bill in the state. In 2024, Kentucky residential customers paid an average of $187.32. With a 6.37 increase in 2025, that would make it $190, add another 14.9%, and you're looking at $218. $218 is what I had. Kentucky Power had it at $210. But poverty is high within Kentucky Power service area, making it harder for customers to pay their ever-rising bills. The poverty percentages by county below are from the 2020 census. The overall poverty rate in Kentucky in 2020 was 16.4. And I'm going to take a minute because I think it's very important that I read all these off. Boyd, 17.7%. Breathitt, 28.2%. Carter, 24.9%. Clay, 31.8%. Elliott, 27.2%. Floyd, 28.3%. Green at 15.1%. Johnson, 23.4%. Knott, 24.9%. Lawrence, 20.6%. Leslie, 27.3%. Lecter, 26.8%. Lewis, 22.6%. McGoffin, 38.4%. Martin, 29.2%. Morgan, 18.2%. Owsley, 24.9%. Perry, 25.5%. Pike, 25%. And Round, 24.5%. Now, do you think all those people in poverty have a bunch of money to give to the electric company? I sure don't. I think they've already paid the highest bill in the state. But that's just not me. We're going to talk about energy burdens real quick. And when I went and talked to Kentucky Power, the fellow that I talked to that day that was there that did the rate case, he didn't even know what this was, okay? Now, he could tell me about the investors and how much they need it, but he didn't know this part. And this is energy burden. And energy burdens, and that is your percent of income going to energy across the region, are twice to 5 times more than the average. And I know because I looked up all these figures. High to severe energy burdens leave ratepayers choosing necessities like food, medicine, rent, or paying the electric bill. Adding further financial strain to excessive rate hikes is ethically indefensible, especially against a backdrop of declining population and industry made worse by Kentucky Power's own decisions. Now we got to remember, because that tower now needs to all be fixed. And they made us buy that, so we got to keep that in mind. Statewide, the average is 3%, and in our Kentucky Power service area, that goes from 6 to 16%. And actually, those figures, the 6 to 16%, were before they added the 5.88%, and before the 6.37. So it's even worse now. Anything over 6% is considered high. Over 10% is considered severe. And this is when people will make hard decisions between food, medicine, and other necessities. And I can assure you that is already happening, because I've talked to a lot of people about it. Second, like the residential rates, Kentucky Power's commercial rates rank amongst the highest in the state. High energy costs put a strain on our valued, and trust me, I value and are appreciated small businesses that are truly the heartbeat of Ashland and Boyd County. Needless to say, this is no way to keep and attract businesses. Third, having high industrial rates is not helpful in attracting new industries to our area. In Ashland, the Coke plant cleanup is nearly complete, and the city is ready to market the site. And I'm really excited about that site because they have rail and water. And you can't, I mean, that's really good. Boyd and Greenup counties have established the Northeastern Kentucky Economic Development Authority, which Eric, I just want to look at you right now. I just really want to thank you for that. That had to be done. It's a good thing, and from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate that. Which is leading the way on economic development in our area. New life has been breathed into East Park. It has. You all know my thoughts on East Park. You know how it's set there. I'm so excited about East Park now. I know we have had MightyCon come out there and some other things. In other words, we are on a roll. We are literally doing all we can to attract industry, residents, and businesses to northeastern Kentucky. Now, this is the part that I'm going to ask you guys to do, okay? You've heard me all this time. Today, I'm asking you to submit a comment to the PSC describing the positive actions Boyd County has taken related to attracting industry and businesses to our area, including East Park, Camp Landing, because I can't even imagine how much electricity Camp Landing uses. I know it'd be a lot, you know. Paul Coffey, and anything else not mentioned, like Carbon Core. They really need to know what we're doing, and you guys have done a great job with that, and other people need to know it too. They really do. Of course, comments supporting families and small businesses related to this rate hike would be appreciated as well. And I asked Ashland to do the same thing about the Coke plant, and comments can be made to psc.comment@kentucky.gov, and you have to put the case number 2025-00257 in the subject line. In-person meetings will be held soon, and as leaders of our community having much insight to offer, I hope each of you will attend and speak up on behalf of these citizens of our community, our industries, and our small businesses. The cost of energy is a big issue across the nation that must be met head on. Before I stop, I sent you all that quite lengthy email that I sent to the PSC, but there are a few things on there that I want to point out. One of them is number 2, because I've heard from Kentucky Power, they act like we use just so much more electricity than other people in the state. We don't. And we did at one time. In 2010, our monthly usage was 1,523 kilowatts. That has gone down 22.3% in 2024. That was 1,183 kilowatts. So yes, people have made adjustments. Kids are turning off the light. Granny's sleeping in her house coat. We have more efficient appliances. So yes, it's been multifaceted, but people are using less electricity. Now, across the state, that is, I've seen some different facts on that, 1,073 to 1,154. So we use a little bit more, 2.6 to 10% more. But if you look at our housing stock, my goodness, people have adjusted. We are using less than ever. And the thing about it is, if Kentucky Power is saying the less you use, the more we're going to raise your bill, that's not good for anyone. It's truly not. Okay, I'm going to go on over, talked about the poverty. Thank you all for being so good. I do want to talk about how much that residents that we have lost over time, and that is on number 8. Yes, and they're saying, there are some counties that are predicted to lose a whole lot more. You guys are taking steps now to prevent that. And I actually made a personal note in here when it talks about the loss of population. And these population numbers come from the University of Kentucky and the University of Louisville. So they're not things I just pull out. But they have us by 2050 losing more than 8.7%. And this is the personal note that I put. I think this can be reversed due to the hard work of our fiscal court and ongoing work by the city of Ashland on economic matters. I truly do. But if you looked at all this together, we could lose another 12. Kentucky Power could lose another 12,000 customers by 2050. There's got to be changes. There's got to be big changes. So anyway, I just wanted to say that. I did include some links to some newspaper articles about what all you guys have done to improve economic development in our area. I want to go to the very end now, and this is steps that I'd like to see in the future. I'm not shy. I just tell people exactly what I'm thinking. There are 2 things that I want. A meeting involving the following to discuss expectations and needs of Kentucky Power, along with Kentucky Power better understanding the needs of customers. Representatives from every city and county fiscal court in Kentucky Power Service area, representatives from the Kentucky PSC, representatives from the Kentucky Cabinet of Economic Development, every state elected official in the service region, representatives from the governor's office, interveners, and the COO, and other representatives from AEP and Kentucky Power. The topic needs to be economic development. Kentucky Power has lost around 1/3 of its industrial sales, like we said, over the 15 years. But Eastern Kentucky has lost so much more. And we have to have change. And I get it, it might be uncomfortable. And today I've pointed a lot of fingers. I'm also pointing that finger at me. I want to be a source of change too. The other thing I think we need, the service region needs a strategic plan with ongoing meetings and backing and a focus and execution from the Kentucky Cabinet of Economic Development and the governor's office. Yes, I want them to step up to the plate and help out more. I truly do. The coal miners in Kentucky, they broke their back for us. They gave their life for us. And we need to make Kentucky Power Service area, which is all of Eastern Kentucky, better for their descendants and all of us. Their work cannot be in vain. But thank you so much. Do you have any questions?
No, there's a lot there. I mean, first off, I appreciate your passion. Truly, I always have. I mean, it's amazing. Truly, it is. There's a lot there to unpack.
And I would invite you to have a meeting with Cynthia Wiseman. She's so nice. Like I said, we saw this very, very differently, but she was nice enough to meet with me. I appreciate her, and I would encourage you all to do the same. There has to be some common solutions, but just choking the life out of the people that are left, that's not going to work. It's not. And like I said, I think we need some federal. We're going to have some federal money for this. We just are. You know, and the federal people, they can put money here, money there, money here, money there. Well, they can put it here too. And I truly believe that. So, and I think we need some state help too, like I said. But you guys are welcome to reach out anytime. I hope that the PSC comes here and meets like they did last time. I thought that was a really good meeting, and I hope that they do it again. And I hope that you guys come too. But really, if you guys could write a letter to the PSC, not the time to be shy, toot your own horn, and let them know what you all have done for economic development. So thank you so much.
Thank you. On that topic, like I said, there's a lot here to unpack, right? And I fully understand rate hikes and how we want to try and minimize those as much as possible. There's a whole nother side to it too, right? I mean, there's a whole nother side to it. Absolutely, and I will, and I have in the past, and I will gladly do that again. I do look at Kentucky Power and their operation and their source of revenue a lot like your local government. And what I mean by that is they have two options, and it's the same two options that we have. In local government, we can either raise taxes every year to increase our revenue, or we can pursue economic development as hard as we can. And I look at Kentucky Power in that same regard, right? I know they have invested heavily at East Park. Hundreds and thousands of dollars they've spent on from master plans to build-ready sites. You know, it's so funny to me to think back in the day when LED lights was a thing and you always saw the power company promoting them. I never could figure that out. How does that make sense, right? I mean, you got the power company, right, less usage, less money. Less usage, less revenue. But it raises the rate because operational cost never stops, regardless of what industry you're in. The same reason that fuel doesn't cost 89 cents a gallon anymore, you know. And I work at the refinery, and if people knew or understood what it took to make a gallon of gas, $3 sounds pretty good, you know, and everything that goes into it. So I understand there's two sides to this, and you are exactly right in the statement made that looking at you know, coal miners and what Eastern Kentucky was and what happened to that. And I don't want to get into the political conversation based on the war on coal and all that, and I fully understand, and I've said it before, I find it hard to believe that it's any cheaper to make electricity. There's nothing cheaper than burning a rock. They've done it for a long time, and well, but I understand that too. But it's still operating, right? And I understand that it's not in Kentucky, and like I said, I mean there's so much to unpack here. But you know, when you look back at and the refinery faces the same thing. You got regulations, you got scrubber units that's got to go in, desulfurization of fuel, whatever it may be. All of this, it costs money. And I'm not defending one side or the other here. I just know that as far as, you know, what we do here in Boyd County, as far as our operation, Kentucky Power has been a fantastic partner. They always have reached out. And I think you know that. I think you know that. Yes. But what you're saying is there has to be some middle ground, right? There has to be some middle ground, and I understand that, and I think, you know, we're going to have to see how all this goes. I mean, when you lose customers, operational costs increase, government forces, outside forces, whatever it may be. I think there's got to be a fine line there that we have to figure out how to straddle. So I mean, I understand what you're saying. there's a lot of good information in there, and I really appreciate your passion. Always have. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Anybody else want to touch on any of that? Again, thank you very much, Suzanne. Next, we'll move to transparency. Boyd County Dump Day will be November 29th. And we have community development update.
Casey had to step out, so I'm going to fill in for Casey. The dump date 7 to 12, 7 to 12, 7 a.m. to 12 noon, November 29th. We got a couple things coming up. So the hayride is scheduled for this Sunday. Now we are aware that the weather might be an issue, so we have a meeting in the morning to kind of determine if we're going to move forward with that date. We were hoping as the week went on the weather would clear up. It seems like it's getting worse.
Yeah.
So we will put out everything on social media and our website if we decide to change the date. We definitely want to try to get it in as soon as possible because it's a great event and it really helps out. And like we'd said last time, we were able to raise over 1,200 pounds of food and give that to River Seas Harvest. So it's an important mission also, but it's a good family event as well. So we'll let you all know tomorrow what we decide. Just want to give a reminder about Trick or Treat. The city of Calixburg, city of Ashland, and the unincorporated areas of Boyd County, it'll all be on October 30th. That's the Thursday evening. We have 2 home football games on Halloween because normally we try to do it on Halloween. But Boyd County will be 6 to 8. That'll be, and then Ashland is 6 to 7:30 in the city limits, and then Calixburg will be 6 to 8 inside their city limits. But it'll all be Thursday, October 30th, and that's it.
All right. Thank you very much. Next, we'll move to community comment.
Okay. I'm going to brag on the Veterans Cemetery. On November the 7th, we'll be putting flags on the Veterans Cemetery for Veterans Day. Also, here a while back, I'm a member of the American Legion Post in Flatwoods. I was given the 40-year service award wearing my other hat. So I'm going to let you know I got an old attaboy. So anyway.
We give you an attaboy every time you're here.
I know that.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Okay, anyway, I just
Yeah,
want to
Mike,
say
we
that.
appreciate
I just
you
want
a
to make
bunch.
sure y'all knew about the Veterans Cemetery. So.
Oh, we absolutely do.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for everything that you do, truly.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm not a Suzanne. I can tell you that right now. So.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
All right. Oh no, my notes are gonna freeze. I'm Blair Hicks, and resident of Boyd County. I'm a volunteer with the animal shelter. You guys know me, but for anybody that doesn't, so one of the things we wanted to do is give a kudos. We have a great volunteer program. I wanted to highlight Miko Lester, and she's not able to be here today. She's a senior at Boyd County High School, and she started volunteering over the summer with her parents. And you don't hear too much about young people doing just amazing things and giving back. She's there almost every day after school. I have parents reach out to me frequently. My kid needs hours for scholarship, what have you. Miko's never asked me for that. She just comes because she gives back, and it's pretty amazing. She's recruited a few friends to come with her. Just her ethic and dedication. I never have to worry about safety with Miko. She listens. She graduates this year, probably off to new adventures, and we'll just miss her very much. But I know she'll do amazing things wherever she goes. And in the spirit of kudos, so we'll have a little, certificate for Miko. But also, Bobby, thank you for your support, and Justin as well. Things have been going really great at the shelter. We welcome new volunteers, certainly, but the community backing has been wonderful. The amount of dogs that we've been able to move recently, when we've been very full, we tend to stay full. So thank you, Mr. Salisbury. You always share things, and we appreciate that as well. So thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
for that and everything that you do. Truly, it's much appreciated. It really is.
Talk about community involvement.
Yeah, no kidding.
No doubt.
Anybody else? Community comment? Commissioners? New business? Do they have anything? A motion to adjourn. Next meeting will be on November 12th. What?
It'll be another Wednesday because Veterans Day's on Tuesday, so we'll be closed.
Did you say you need a day off after that?
That's the CAECO conference too. That's the CAECO conference, that's the day I leave.
Okay, well, it will not be on the 12th. We will do it another day. We will announce that day, and we will make sure that Aaron has that day. Huh? What is it? Oh, we can put Dave up there. No, I think it's a
By
CAECO
Jeremy,
conference.
it's CAECO conference.
The 12th.
It's that
That's the
week.
12th,
Yeah,
that
we'll,
week.
we'll get it rescheduled. We'll send that to you, Aaron. We'll get that posted. So, motion and a second to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor. Thank you all very much.